Not long after bringing children into the orphanage, Sister Valeriana realized that they needed a place to escape from the city every once in a while. She found and bought a farm 2 hours west of Bogotá in the jungles of Sasaima. Now, about 30 children whose challenges prevent them from attending school or living in a large group call the farm their home. They all have their own responsibilities after rising at 6 a.m. every morning, which include taking care of animals, gardening, caring for other children, or preparing food with gas collected from biomass waste.
On an extremely bumpy dirt road filled with potholes, the bus drove deeper into the jungle. As the bus rocked back and forth, my stomach felt queasy, but I was filled with excitement. We were on our way to the farm where many of the orphans lived and worked. As soon as we came into view of the farm, I saw kids running to the bus with shouts of excitement. The moment I stepped off the bus, kids jumped on me in a tight embrace. It didn't matter that they had never seen me before. They knew I was there for them. Later, I got my trumpet out and began to play. As soon as they heard the music, children who had been running around wildly came over to listen. They surrounded me and held up multiple songs for me to play. They all wanted to become my human music stands so that I could continue to play an eclectic mix of Beatles, Disney, and Star Wars songs.
At the farm, the children would rush up to us, grabbing our hands to invite us to dance as the reggaeton music blasted from the intercom. There was one young girl, though, who seemed a bit standoffish. It appeared that she may have suffered from cerebral palsy. She walked with a limp, was unable to speak, and carried a bib to wipe the dribble from her mouth. I went over to her smiling and said, "Hola," and in response, she ran away. Eventually, I learned that her name was Sandra, and since my Spanish is limited, we quickly learned to communicate in gestures. Soon enough, I had a new sidekick, and it didn't take long for this observant new friend to spot the iPhone in my pocket. I like Sandra, but to be honest, I didn't really want to let any of the kids play with my iPhone, but Sandra persisted, so I reluctantly took it out and played some music. To my horror, she grabbed my phone and pressed it against her ear, and suddenly, she melted in happiness, clutching the phone with joy. It was too precious to be mad at, so I decided to let her listen for a while. After a whole hour of listening, Sandra finally returned my phone with a paper and pencil in hand. I was expecting that she found something upbeat like the reggaeton that the kids seemed to love so much, but to my surprise, she requested that I write down only 2 songs for her, India Ari's River Rise and Now at Last by Feist. As she played these incredibly slow and soulful tunes, her eyes closed and she became lost in the music. A different kind of music therapy.
We also brought chalk to draw with, and within minutes, their courtyard was getting a fresh new look. I played with this little boy named Miguel. He had 2 little toy cars that he played with. I drew him a racetrack with the chalk, and we didn't have to speak the same language for him to know what it was.
We had a day out at the farm, and after spending some time looking at the animals being raised, I wandered back to where the kids were all drawing with chalk. I happened to be behind a blind girl walking with her cane. She suddenly stopped and stood by a door. I thought perhaps she needed some assistance, and I went to her. As I touched her arm, she raised her face in my direction. It was then that a woman with a large ring of keys came and opened the door, near to where the blind girl stood. I asked, "Where is she going?" and I was told it's her day to fold laundry. She was just showing up for her job.